Welcome back, everybody.
Hey, good morning, friends.
Yeah, Joe here.
Kevin?
All right, we've already started our Monday with Dairy Girls. We're rolling into
Right.
Marvelous Miss Maisel, so
We have a good Monday, don't we?
we have a great Monday.
Yeah.
All of our best shows are on Monday, in my opinion. Well, excluding Mad Men.
Mad Men's our
Mad
best
Men's
show.
our
In
best
my
show.
opinion,
I think Mad Men's the best show. I take it back. Never mind. Don't listen to me. Anyways, Marvelous Miss Maisel. We have 2 episodes left, and I've adored this season. I really have.
I am too. I like this. Like, a lot of times wrap-up seasons are when a show kind of goes off the rails a little
It's
bit.
hit and miss.
Yeah, it really is. I have loved this season. I think it's a bold season. I think
Truly.
they've stepped out structurally on what they've done for
Yes.
4 years, and I feel like it's worked. I feel like the payoffs
has
have
worked.
been good. I feel like there's a lot of information to get through
Yeah.
in this last season, and the way they've done it has been really spectacular.
Now, with 2 episodes left,
Right.
it could fall apart. I don't see that happening, though.
No.
I think this show.
I think they'll stick the
they're
landing.
gonna land
They
the
know what they're
plane.
doing.
They
Right.
the thing is, you're right. With final seasons, it's when you do swing for the fences,
Yeah.
and they definitely have. And I'm very, very curious to see how they're going to wrap it up in 2 hours. Well, 2 episodes, but 2
Right.
hours, because I feel like there's a lot to resolve still.
But it wouldn't surprise me if this show in particular just makes the choice not to wrap up everything in a bow, right?
I guess they did wrap up enough.
They wrapped up an
The
awful
Susie
lot,
episode
especially
was
especially in
fantastic.
in the roast episode with Susie. We got a lot of answers, but I don't think we have to get all of them. I do
That's
want. I think at some point, and I'm going to guess it's the last episode, but maybe it's this one. We're going to get what is the spark that really gives Midge her big break, right?
Yeah,
I have to believe they're going to
they've been
cover that,
teasing us
right?
with that for a while.
Right. But I do think there's going to be a lot of stuff between 1960s and 1980s that we just don't really touch on, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
I don't know if we're going to get any type of resolution in the 80s or 90s with Joel and Midge and her kids who are all kind of estranged from each other, clearly
Sure.
at this point.
Sure.
Um,
Well, that'd be another show. I mean,
right,
that'd
yeah,
be its own thing entirely.
absolutely. Maybe that's what the last one is, and maybe we get her big break here. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. The one thing that has surprised me, though, and we talked about it at length at the end of the last episode, is from the beginning, right? Yeah, season 1, episode 1, I thought, okay, our heel is Joel Maisel,
Uh-huh.
which obviously has not played out that way, and which I think has been done really well.
He's
But
like the hero of the show.
Yeah, he really, and at least of Midge's life, and I expected some type of redemption arc for Rose and
It's not happening.
Abe. And the one thing we know for sure is at least with Rose, we're not going to get it, right? The last episode is the most, like, she's been frustrating before.
Yeah.
You know, she's been selfish before. I'm like, that's not the best way to handle, which is okay, right? We all come from different backgrounds. People are who they are, but she was so frustratingly self-centered in
To
the
the
last episode, to the bitter end.
To the end. She's going to
She-
ride that
yeah.
lightning, man. She's
to
all
where
in.
to the point where she's not just only thinking about herself, but she's lashing out at everyone else for not only thinking of her too, and that takes her selfishness to a new level.
It does.
Because Midge really had to take a bullet in that last episode, right? To help out James, she got hosed bad. She got worked over, and it wasn't fair. And Rose lashing out at her for not being more about Rose just sent me through the roof.
It really does.
We talked about 20 minutes almost after the episode
thing
because
is-
I was so disappointed in Rose.
We started this series off liking Rose, and in many ways,
Yeah.
she has likable qualities. She's not,
She does. She's not a bad person.
and she's not unenjoyable to watch.
no, not at all.
It's just her personal choices and who she is that
Right.
really frustrates us because we know people like that in real life. Yes, this is fiction, but at the same
Right.
time, you can point and be like, oh, that's so and so.
Yeah, but
You
to
know,
an extreme.
To an extreme.
It takes quite a parent as an adult to be mad at your adult kids, right? Like viscerally mad at your adult kids for not dropping everything and making their lives about you.
Yes.
Everything without 1 second of consideration for what they're going through.
One aspect of the show that I love is that, like, when you're an adult,
Right.
you see your parents in a whole new light.
Mhm.
Because,
You realize what they were going through this whole time as you
Yeah.
become an adult too, right?
And also,
you,
like,
you generally start to respect your parents more.
and there's a dynamic change, right?
Right,
They
sure.
they address you differently, or if they don't address you differently, that causes issues too.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like the dynamic between your parents is one of the best aspects of this show. You know,
It's
really,
true.
it's a kind of about breaking free,
Right.
the tragedy of it is that Midge does not break free.
She can't.
She can't.
Right.
And however,
she should be able to, but having a mother that dependent on her, and she is,
and father in many ways,
right? We just don't see Abe in the future. Is why I'm not letting Abe off the hook for his own problems, but we haven't seen him.
Somebody on Patreon asked the question: the scene with Midge and Rose, where we find out that Rose is sick,
right,
and that Midge wants to keep doing this business for her
right.
until the end. They're like, we didn't see Abe in that scene. Do you think that Abe's passed away?
See, we kind of talked about it too. We haven't seen him, so I don't know. Maybe Abe dies younger. I think
we saw that one scene,
right?
The wedding. Yeah, it was like 71 or 3.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I think. I mean, Tony Shalhoub is obviously older.
Yeah.
I don't know if Abe Wiseman, the character, is that much older than Rose, but I feel like he is.
Mid-50s, 60s.
Right.
That's
so they could both very well be gone because she hasn't made, at least in the stuff we've seen of her, an effort to get a hold of him.
Sure.
Right? We haven't seen where that relationship goes. Maybe this episode we focus on Abe. We focused on Rose the last one. Maybe this one we see a little bit more of Abe. I also wouldn't mind seeing how things go, like, Joel in prison. What's going on with his parents? Are they already gone by the time that happens?
Yeah.
Or is it something that, like,
we haven't seen them at all?
Right. We haven't really. Yeah. We other than in the 60s,
in the 80s,
right? We haven't seen them. So really all 4 adults might just be gone. Right.
Well, it's a sad.
I mean, it is what it is. Right. They're not young.
No,
and it's
Shirley and Moish.
It's not like 2024 where everybody lives to be 100, right? So
sure.
it's possible that Shirley and Moish are gone.
They're on that steak and cigarette diet.
Yeah, I mean, really, yeah. I mean, Shirley's got that rasp voice that says, "I put a few packs down."
They do seem older than Rose and Abe, though.
They do. I think so too. Yeah.
So, but regardless, I'm looking forward to the show. I think this is the show that we kind of make predictions for the most. This and Mad Men. We're like, oh, this is going to happen, or this is going to happen.
Yeah, we get it wrong a lot too.
We do, which I love because I love being completely.
I love it. Yeah, exactly. Subvert expectations. No one enjoys a show that's overly predictable, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a show that's overly predictable.
Most shows are overly predictable.
Yeah, we pick good ones here.
Well, I mean, like, most shows are episodic in nature, right? Yeah. What happens when you sit down? I know this is something that people have joked about forever. You sit down, you watch an episode of one of the Law and Order, right? Law and Order SVU or something, right? And halfway through, the police have their guy. You know what you're thinking, though, right?
Yeah.
No, you don't. There's still 30 minutes left. You're not getting you got the wrong guy. You're not going to get your guy for 20 minutes.
It's so weird that you mentioned SVU. I was talking to my roommate the other day. He's like, you know that Robin Williams was on SVU? And I was like, no. And he's like, yeah, he won an Emmy. I'm like, what?
Good for Robin Williams.
Apparently it was a whole thing.
Really?
So, and the 30-some seasons of SVU.
Right, yeah, exactly. I don't watch a lot of episodic
I don't either,
TV,
but still,
we do want to go ahead and welcome Elro, Iridescent, Kimberly, and Mike Friedman to our Patreon group. Thanks so much, guys. We're really happy you're here with us.
Yes, we are. And if you guys are watching us on YouTube for the first time, welcome to our channel. If you'd mind the like button for us, leave us a comment down below, and please, please, please hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on the new content we've coming your way.
If you'd like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else we've watched or watching, check out the link in the description of our Patreon page on all shows, including Mrs. Maisel. Actually, Mrs. Maisel, we're done. We're at least 4 episodes ahead. So if you want to catch the finale, if you're on YouTube right now, jump over to Patreon. That's the place to do it. You'll have to sync and watch along on your own Amazon. You will only see and hear us for copyright purposes. We're also watching 30 Rock as a Patreon exclusive.
Remember that time she threatened detention and we couldn't tell if it was for us or Ethan?
It was for us. Sale when Toady Nussbaum had already stayed at
It's hitting him.
It's hitting him that he's not with Midge anymore. Yeah.
One of them's been here longer than Pop's owned the place.
We call back to the blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, this fabric. I want.
I like blonde Midge. She can really rock it.
Yeah.
She looks like Marilyn Monroe.
Rachel Brosnan looks great in every scene in this.
They should redo the Marilyn Monroe biopic.
Let her do it, right?
Make it less dark.
Nice to meet you, Mrs. Maisel.
My God, the grandchildren I'm gonna have. How you doing for tap pants?
I think I'm tapped out.
We just got some in.
That's good.
Yeah.
Tapped out.
Well,
this, my son, is a girl you do not let go of.
Oh,
yeah.
That foreshadowing there. Yeah.
these guys know nothing of my background, so I took advantage of that. No one is going to question a warrior.
They're both going to do this. That's awesome.
We know it doesn't work, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it doesn't. Right.
One of us works.
So he's romanticizing it.
I was entertaining your old street hockey friends because I thought that's what.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Stop the car.
Mage. So dramatic. I'm married to Barbara Stanwyck here. I grew up here, Midge.
I can see the lights.
Are you and Barbara getting back in the car or what?
Just follow us.
Hey, the man.
But they're your friends.
I just need you. That's all.
Took you a while to figure that out.
Scabby's getting the show.
He better get all $3 by
He
the time
better get
this is
$3.
done. Yeah. He'd be like, if you only have $3, you need to get in the car now.
Yeah, no kid. I suddenly feel bad for Travis Bickle.
Right.
Kidding.
Thank you for coming in on such short notice. So, why are we here today?
Are they talking about Abe?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Abe?
Oh, he's been back several times since the incident with the aptitude test.
Smoking a pipe at a children's school.
This is not funny.
No, I'm sorry. This is quite funny.
We would like him not to return for the foreseeable future, not till he adjusts his attitude. We've never banned a grandparent before.
There's a lot of flashback stuff here to their earlier life.
Penny, I didn't know you're still here.
Oh.
That you'll cancel first thing tomorrow.
I always do.
What would I do without you?
I would hate to think.
When did the affair start?
It looks like right here.
It's 50.
I think that's why we're getting the flashback.
That's all we ask. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
You may go now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she did the make. Nobody likes that.
Had a teacher was like, I don't know, can you go to the bathroom? I was like, I'll go right here. I'll go right here.
Have fun. And send them all my love. If only to confuse them.
I will.
That's a good line from him.
Yeah.
Can we get a drink sometime? Catch up? Talk about something other than the kids?
Sure.
We've been waiting for this, but at the
Right.
same time,
We know it doesn't work. Yeah. we know this is.
Don't play with my emotions.
I mean, she marries several guys and Joel goes
I
to
know.
prison.
It's so dark.
Yeah.
If you're going to do this, at least give me the 90s.
Right.
Jump forward and make sure that everything's okay.
Woohoo! Especially this page.
This is creepy.
I'm assuming it's one of the kids' textbooks. One of her textbooks.
Hey, this is protege after all.
Right.
Esther.
I wonder how much of it's actually his fault that Esther's so neurotic as an adult instead of hers.
Okay, so if Esther remembers him,
Right.
then he's definitely alive after Rose is. I'm making that bet. Because
I think you're right, right.
Child, yeah.
I left my book there, and I want to see if she goes over to my book.
Oh, that's what that was? Never mind, it was his book.
What's the book?
It's Being in Nothingness by Sartre.
Of course.
Are there pictures?
In Being in Nothingness? No.
It's a philosophy book.
She's not gonna know what being in nothingness is, even if she's curious about the text.
No one knows what.
God.
And not going to the book would also indicate advanced mental faculties.
What does it call this? Confirmation bias here? Yeah.
We see. I really wish we got like a day in the life of Abe.
Right.
Not one or the other. Midge is my girl, too. But Midge isn't getting it handed to her like James. Really? You want to try being black for a day?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dinah's right.
So don't let him walk away, because if you do, then I may walk away. And you really can't live without me.
That's true.
Book the ticket.
While you book James on par.
He's right. She is being biased for Midge.
Here they are, the whole gang. Four. You have everything's butter. How in another?
This is costume so fun.
It really is. I love how colorful it is.
Yeah.
I need something to soak up this booze. I mean, the lawn is spinning.
Not me. Cavalry. Has it.
On weapons? Lawn darts. My boys will love them. They look dangerous.
darts.
I wouldn't sell them if
Yeah,
They are dangerous. They've been banned. Yeah.
Palmer Witherspoon is still brokenhearted.
And available. He and Tuffy just divorced. Palmer Witherspoon had the personality of a shoehorn.
Oh, remember? He was the guy that she was dating when they at the beginning. Yeah.
It's a great callback.
Yeah.
And you perform on stage. I can't picture that.
You can't? She gave the toast at her wedding, stole the show.
I meant I can't.
Great wedding.
You're not scared standing on stage in front of people?
Well, let's see.
She has been, but no.
Anything else in the entire world that I could possibly do to earn a living, I would.
That's what Lenny told her in the first episode. Yeah.
That was just an audition to be on his show. They haven't made a decision yet.
Aw, she can't tell him.
This all happened during my semester in Prague.
Mr.
Everyone
D.
had a thing for
Yeah.
Mr. D.
Mr. D gave her a C.
That's funny.
Yeah.
There's a joke in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Fortune favors the brave! Do you dream about the dorms? I still have dreams about the dorms.
I'm so glad I didn't go. I have to stay in the dorms.
I did for a semester. It wasn't great.
The rent and sales 18. I'm so broke.
The Andrews sisters.
Right.
Oh my god.
Yes, you're not young anymore, right?
The Lark is the lightest weight vacuum on the market and easy to store.
They don't care.
They do not care, right?
How did we ever fit all our stuff?
Why is the world getting so much smaller?
Hey,
That's a good line. I like that.
Yeah.
Hi, girls.
bye.
Cleanliness is next to godliness.
You guys would say, yeah, you sound like a mom now.
Somebody grab a stick and wave it in front of us. Take the cobwebs down.
Keep moving, Kiki.
Yeah. I would not just walk through those cobwebs.
No. No.
This is smaller too. Everything's shrinking.
Is this where they snuck away? Yep.
Read.
Love as if your life depends on it. Really? You went through that whole Khalil Gibran phase.
Be thoughtful, be thin. Oh, young Patrick.
Read Don Quixote in the original Spanish? Oh,
No.
What? That's not so fun.
Don't.
Don't?
don't what?
That's it. Just don't.
I think it was more like, don't conform, man.
Yeah.
I think it was something
Yeah.
like, don't miss out. Don't miss out on living life. And my God, you haven't.
Maybe it was Don't Marry Joel. So I'm thinking, yeah.
Once you're settled, remarried, happy, you'll always be able to look back on this amazing chapter and say, I did that.
It was like, don't have a plan.
It's interesting because it's like to her now. She's telling herself now, don't follow follow your plan.
Yeah, that's got to be what it is, right?
Right,
Don't follow the plan. Just march the beat at your own drum. Which she very much does. I mean,
I think she's telling herself right now, like, your plan to abandon your kids and go be a star, don't do it.
yeah. I'm so glad they're using the lawn darts. I've never used them. I know they're banned.
They were banned after 4 people died.
I want to try them so bad. They look fun.
God.
Responsibly, obviously.
Right. Turns out throwing a giant metal spike into the air to try to get it to land where
We
you
lost
want
it in the sun.
is a bad idea. Yeah.
It's crazy that was an actual children's toy.
Yeah. Like, who couldn't have seen that one coming? I think it was Congress that banned them, too.
Kids were made of different stuff back then.
Very pokeable still, though.
Yeah, for sure.
It's confirmed. Doubling. Tripling. 100%. Through my wife, through Hetty. Is she still here?
Yeah, we still have the Hetty storyline.
Right.
Because her and Susie have a past.
Right.
Princess Margaret will be on our
Oh,
show
wow.
for the full hour.
Is that
That's a
Charles' sister?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's Elizabeth's sister.
We should watch The Crown
Oh,
eventually.
yeah.
You saved a memory. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Got to bump you tonight. I'll call you when we got a hold of Phil.
Yeah.
Princess Margaret of Britain!
So they didn't even know. That's awesome.
So we plan
That's
to be
awesome.
here every night.
Terrific. Which fighter?
I don't know that you two would have ever crossed paths.
I love that bit. He doesn't take her seriously. I love it.
Right.
They call an apartment a flat. And today, I learned they actually call me, I'm sorry, I don't believe I've ever heard of you before.
That's pretty good, too.
Do you cook?
Oh, yes, I do cook. I'm a fabulous cook. I cook every day. It's one of 2 things I'm most skilled at.
What's the other?
Lying. I've always wanted to do a live weather report on American television.
Is that the script they wrote?
Maybe. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Was Margaret funny? I don't know.
I have no
I
idea.
have no idea either.
Dad, maybe fulfill that dream of yours?
I'd be delighted.
Please.
This would be a huge deal.
It would be.
On Tuesday, there will be lots and lots of sunshine. What is that, sunshine?
That's good,
funny.
yeah.
Surf conditions will be epic. All you gidgets and kooks should expect some gnarly slides. It's almost like you and your writers just wanted to hear me say those words.
Excuse me, what are you doing there?
Just marking which states our army should reinvade first.
She started with Rhode Island and Massachusetts. Yeah.
First thing tomorrow.
You know what the news department called? They are gobsmacked that we got her. Huntley and Brinkley are humiliated. Oh!
He's the real dark side, man.
Yeah.
It's like he's so likable, but he's
Yeah.
kind of a scumbag.
Yeah.
That's
He's enjoying the ride.
Yeah.
First of many, perhaps.
Oh, sure, things will be completely different now.
Is this going to go bad here? I don't know. Because she hasn't done anything with Gordon, but maybe she doesn't know that. Yeah.
I came up with the concept. The boys helped make it funny.
Don't. If the credit's yours, take it. If it's not, take it. That's what the boys do.
It's actually
Fair.
not terrible
That's fair.
advice, especially as tough as her job is.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. How long have you been working with Susan?
Of course, it came back to this.
Pembroke, class of 48, we were roommates.
She never mentioned that.
Well, you know Susan.
Yeah, she doesn't share.
I'd say you're going places, cutie. See ya.
Yes.
Miss me?
That was a nice little like throwaway no there. Yeah, you can barely hear it.
Yeah.
You met Hetty.
Yeah.
She came up to me at the bar, told me you were friends in college.
We weren't friends.
She says you were roommates.
Maybe.
Why is this a thing?
Because she broke her heart.
Yeah, but she doesn't know that.
Yeah, I know, but that's why
Midge
Susie's
is
doing
making a big
yeah.
thing out of it.
I'm tired. Can we talk in the morning? Why didn't you tell me? I don't tell you about everybody I've met in my life.
Stop it.
Oh, okay. Now I see where it's going. Yeah.
Talk to her. Wait a minute.
She has sway with Gordon.
Well, she did. Yeah. Okay.
Just stop and think, okay? Do you really want to make it by having me call in a favor to some chick I went to college with? Yes.
Isn't that kind of how it works? I mean, like, to sum it up, it's about who you know.
How you got your start, you don't want to say you had to call in a favor from your manager.
I'm not going to be on that show if you don't do this.
It's a lot to lay
That's a lot
on
of
her.
pressure.
Yeah, that's crap.
That's gross.
Now she's threatening her too.
Come on.
Yeah, she just threatened to fire her.
Look, I mean, no big deal in just talking to Hetty, but at the same time, don't put that pressure on her
Right.
like that. That's not fair.
If you won't do this one thing for me, I'll.
That's not fair.
Yeah, the damage is done.
I mean, to be fair though, she is her manager,
right?
But it's a little gross that she handled that. That was not cool.
That's an acidic wine, a bit angular for some.
Are you trying to kill me?
Hysterical.
You're kidding. Queen Victoria was supposedly a hoot.
I never knew that.
What's going on with Abe right now?
Absent-minded professor?
With a flying car, that movie?
At Radio City, I'm a huge Fred McNeil.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Whatever it is, we haven't had it telegraphed. Whatever's going on with him here.
Is he becoming disillusioned with this now too?
Yeah.
So, wait, before you got here, I was raving about your conversational skills to Arthur and Henry.
Was it because Gabe said crapulence?
Yes, that was upsetting.
What's upsetting?
Let's hear it.
I've just turned 64, and
so he's probably not around. Yeah.
That's because everything is changing at such an ungodly pace, Abe.
In the 60s, yeah.
Yeah.
We were born in the 1800s. A different century, before phones, before...
Well, he wasn't.
Yeah, really, yeah.
All I could picture was my children picking through it all. Choosing what to keep, what to sell, what to...
Ever been to an estate sale?
Yeah.
It's a weird feeling.
It is. It's somebody's life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was a warm day, but I suddenly felt very cold.
I eat that up. I love that kind of stuff.
I certainly do. I think I emerged from my mother's womb giving advice on how to deal with the umbilical cord.
That really does fit his personality, yeah.
Instead of collapsing from the weight, she emerged stronger.
Yes, she did.
Yes, she did.
But now, I think, perhaps that was who she was all along.
Yeah.
I love this for him.
I too.
I don't remember if I ever did that to Miriam. I don't think it ever occurred to me.
This is such a juxtaposition between him and Rose.
Huge. Huge.
Yeah.
That's why he's
Right.
the best.
Where did this come from? This strength, this fearlessness that...
He should talk to her about it.
Yeah.
What could she have been if I had helped her and not ignored her?
I love this speech.
This is a great scene.
Yeah.
My daughter is a remarkable person, and I don't think I've ever said that to her.
Go tell her.
We should probably order.
They wanted to talk. There
Yeah.
you go. He just had an epiphany.
Yeah. He ignored her because she was a girl.
Yeah.
That was it.
I liked their dress. Now, I'm sure there was some enlightened folk back in the 60s,
Of course,
but,
right.
you know, it only took 50 years after that.
Right.
60 years at this point.
10, but I usually swing in around noon. Come then, I have a piece by Helen Frankenthaler that I think you are going to love.
I really hate that Susie has to do this.
Yeah. I mean,
It's personally really difficult what she's having to do here.
I can see both sides. I just don't like I don't like how Mitch handled it.
No.
She's a good writer. Is she a good comedian?
She's ready.
You really believe in this girl.
I do.
Is it more than that?
No.
It's really not.
And you'll do it soon.
I will do it soon.
Tonight?
He's out tonight, and I may not see him till morning.
Quite the fairy tale, you two.
You don't have to take a shot at her, too.
Yes, first thing tomorrow. This was hard, wasn't it? What you just did.
Yeah. If it works, Midge owes Susie big time on this one. Huge.
Hi, Mitch. Hello, Trudy. Hello, Dory. Can I stash my purse with you today?
I worry when you don't.
Morning, Hetty.
Good morning, Midge.
It was a weird look.
It was.
It's almost like she knew.
Midge? No.
Yes.
Hetty, come on, you know we have a rule.
That was George's rule, Gordon. Then it became your rule.
Yeah, staff writers perform all the time.
Why should I do this?
Because you own me.
This is how you're gonna play this? This is new for us, Hetty.
I'm so invested in this episode.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that camera work. This really flew by. It did. It honestly flew by. And that was 53 minutes, I believe.
Oh my God.
And it felt like 20.
Yeah, that flew right by.
Okay. Good setup for the last episode.
For sure.
I loved the whole episode, honestly, from start to finish. I especially want to single out Abe's epiphany he had.
Yeah, man, with as awful as Rose was in the last episode, Abe's epiphany was equally as great.
It's not full blown, I've lived a life of regret.
Right.
But it's like right there. And there's something sad and melancholic about like being like, I'm 64 years old and I feel like my life, I've had the wrong perception my whole life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's heavy.
It is, yeah.
That's so heavy, you know? I mean, there's how many adult men, and women, for that matter, today would admit that.
Right.
You know? I mean, maybe after, like, a big event happens in your life, but, like, we get so stuck in our ways. Like, you're not going to change when you're 30.
Yeah.
Well, you're more likely to change when you're 30 than you are when you're 60, but it's like, it's big of him. It's very big of him, and honestly, really insightful for him to acknowledge that.
It's insightful. I don't even think it's the acknowledgement or the fact he's admitting it. I don't care about that. I think the fact he's realizing it.
Yeah, that he actually believes.
Yeah, that he actually's like, oh my God, I've kind of been giving Midge the short end of the stick her whole life.
The fact that he finally admitted,
because he's in this stupid idea that the firstborn male son matters and nothing else does, and he's kind of really blown Midge off,
and that's all because of Esther.
Yeah, and it is all because of Esther. He's like, oh wait, the second born daughter might actually, and again, you know, that parallels there that she's the second born and she's a daughter, but it's bigger as like, why did I ignore the possibility that Midge might be great? And now he's realizing that in fact, in a lot of ways, she is, despite the fact that she's really gotten no nurturing from either one of her parents.
Sure. Yeah, no, for sure, and I really hope it brings them closer. They're already pretty close, but hopefully it does patch up their relationship quite a bit. We're not going to get that from Rose, probably. I really doubt we'll have I expect we'll have a moment where Abe talks to Midge and tells her how he feels,
or he's going to die.
I don't know. We saw him in the 70s. We saw him in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
But
I was going to say,
if he died before that, I'd be like, that's awful.
Well, I mean, it just doesn't feel. It feels to me like, and again, we have a whole other episode, but if Abe really takes these steps with Midge, I feel like he would have helped bridge a gap between Midge and Esther too.
Oh, Esther.
And he's not, because Esther, I get it, she's a little kid now, and who knows how much farther, what happens now. But Esther seems to really align with Abe, but not with Midge. And it's like, well, if Abe has this epiphany and acts on it, how does that not make their relationship stronger? The three of them.
That's interesting, because, we did start the season off with Esther in therapy talking about that, talking about her grandpa.
We're talking about positively about her grandfather, negatively about her mom.
Well, when he does pass, once that middleman's gone, maybe with Midge being famous, maybe it just kind of dilutes it, and then it just kind of withers away,
Or Midge is more, let's be honest, Midge is more like Rose, and really kind of focuses on her own stuff, and doesn't, and kind of shortchanges Esther too.
Well, because even though Abe's having this realization, it's not like the rest of the family really buys into it. He's the only one that really buys into it.
Right.
So, yeah, once you put. Look, and also kids have different relationships with their grandparents. Every kid loves their grandparents almost more than they love their parents. Let's face it. But it is interesting. I don't think Midge really believes in Abe's, I don't want to call it crap, but I don't think she believes in that, and maybe he's not really believing it now too. But yeah, I think that once he passes, just kind of the relationship just kind of withers away between Midge and because I'm assuming that she'll spend way more time with Abe than she will with Mitch. Especially,
I think so because Abe's there,
yes,
and he seems to be taking a much bigger interest in her academic pursuits and and her growth, and that seems to be what she's really focused on when we see her in the '80s is her academic pursuits, and that's definitely more Abe than Midge.
And we kind of see what kind of person she becomes when she becomes famous. I'm not saying she's a bad person by any means. I'm just saying, but she's just not there. She gets kind of caught up in the excess of everything. She gets married 4 times,
something like that. She has
crazy.
She has plenty of husbands and apparently fiancés as well.
Fame, addresses, and money, and it's just it's easy to get. We watched Hacks. It's easy to get lost in that persona, So I can see how that would. I mean, look at any child whose parents are famous, right?
Right.
It's usually a horror story.
A lot of them. I mean,
I'm not saying all of them.
Well,
but
I think I don't know. I think the horror stories get the headlines.
Yeah.
But you don't hear about Maya Hawke, being a mess.
There's absolutely exceptions. You know what I mean?
I think the ones that are a mess are the exceptions.
Yeah, really? Okay.
I mean,
I just think it's a lot of pressure to put on a kid.
It is. That's no doubt. But I feel like most celebrity kids you never hear about. 90%, 95% of you don't hear about because they're just living their lives. They may be horror shows.
Sure.
They may be spoiled and entitled, and
And I guess the awful thing is that the story is the horror story.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
you hear about Chet Hanks plenty, but
that's exactly what I'm trying to allude to. Yeah.
But no one freaks out about Colin.
Sure.
Sure. And I think most of them are just fine, not great, not awful. They're just like everyone else.
They've been dealt a weird hand.
They have.
Yeah.
There's no way someone like you or I could fathom what it's like.
No.
Let's say you're Tom Brady's daughter,
yeah.
or Patrick Mahomes' little daughter,
yeah.
or
your whole life,
Jimmy Stewart's kids, whatever,
way above everybody else's.
From the time you're born, that's your dad or your mom, right?
It's an impossible shadow.
Yeah, it is. If you're Taylor Swift's firstborn child,
yeah.
What is your life going to be growing up in terms of your perception, not just of your parents, but of the world?
Sure.
At some point, there has to be a realization that my mom, my dad, whatever, is just different.
And then, you look at the kids that do live up to the shadow. Look at Michael Douglas.
Right. Sure.
Which is ironic that he has a son that's also troubled,
Sure.
But, his granddad and his dad.
Right.
But, you're right. Michael Douglas, Jeff Bridges,
right.
It's not impossible, I guess.
Sure.
It's a lot of pressure to put on kids.
It is. I think the bigger pressure is the ones...
Especially if you don't want to go into showbiz.
Right. I think you hear more about young, famous people becoming train wrecks rather than the children of famous people becoming train wrecks, unless they're trying to be famous too.
Yeah.
Right? The people like...
Drew Barrymore?
Right. Yeah. But what's her name? Amanda Bynes is an example. She didn't have famous parents. No. She still became a complete train wreck, right? Lindsay Lohan, I don't think, had famous parents.
Rich.
Right, but she did. The burden of fame was put on her when she was young. Yeah, exactly. So it's really not, the children of famous people that tend to fall apart. It's the kids themselves that are having fame put on them that fall apart.
So when you have these things placed in front of you.
Yeah,
what is your decision? What is your choice?
Exactly. It's all of a sudden I'm 12 years old, but I've got to be on a movie set 15 hours a day while trying to be a kid and go to school and have a normal life and have a girlfriend and or a boyfriend or whatever. I think that's the bigger deal. So the whole point I'm trying to make, sorry, I know I'm talking roundabout here, is that Esther doesn't have the same kind of pressure on her that Drew Barrymore had on her, because Esther's not trying to be in a spotlight.
Yeah.
Right? Esther's just being a normal person. Her struggles are, I'm having a hard time connecting with my mother, and one of the reasons is my mom's famous.
It's kind of the opposite of what we're talking about, right? All the eyes are over here.
Yeah, the eyes aren't on Esther.
She actually is in the shadow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not that the industry or whatever is eating Esther up because Esther's famous.
No, for sure.
It's that she doesn't have a present mother because her mother's busy being famous.
From what we've seen, she's successful.
Yeah, no, she's obviously brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, brilliant.
She's a very young professor, they were saying. Yeah,
yeah, she was. Yeah, I can't remember the bit, but she did something
We only
brilliant.
got one episode of that, which is
Right. Yeah, in that first couple of minutes where she solved some big problem, I can't remember what it was, like while sitting there in the doctor's office, because she's beyond brilliant, but obviously neurotic and unhappy.
Well, I was going to say that's the thing with the family is the whole family is so neurotic.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what's passed down, right?
Sure.
We've seen the four parents together in the same room and just watched nothing but pure chaos unfold.
It is a madhouse.
It is.
It truly is. It's
I think as much as anything is that's what's kind of rubbed off on Esther.
Yeah.
And her mom wasn't somebody even making the attempt to regulate that or keep her away from it.
Sure.
Right?
I mean,
she's just in it.
Well, Midge has her own set of distractions too.
Completely. Midge grew up in the same crap environment too of just manic. And again,
and I wonder if it's Midge trying to escape that once her parents are gone. That could inform a lot of her decisions too.
It's hard to say, but we have 64-year-old Abe finally realizing he's been a terrible father to Midge all along. And he kind of has. He's been an absentee father, but they've shared moments.
Yeah.
And then we have Rose, who I can't think off the top of my head of a good moment that Rose has shared with Midge on this show. I can't think of a moment where I say, you just really did a great thing for somebody else, Rose.
Look, I wouldn't be surprised if it's there, but from the top of my head, I can't think of one either. It's the beginning of the show, it was get a husband.
Yeah.
And then it was you don't pay attention to me. And then it was this and that.
Right. And some of her complaints about Abe are fair.
valid. Yeah,
they're valid. He ignored her and stuff.
Yeah.
But
that was 3 seasons ago.
Yeah. And
they've resolved it.
And we know that Rose literally spends the rest of her life being about Rose.
Yeah.
To the point where Midge has to start dumping money down she's a money pit, just dumping money down her just to try to make her seemingly happy with herself.
Sure.
Because nothing else does. But so there is no moment that I could expect for 4 seasons now, 5 seasons now, where Rose steps forward to be the gracious person.
Maybe that's why it's hitting us so hard now, is because we just have these expectations of this character to grow.
And it doesn't happen.
And what's even more frustrating is that one of them does. Abe is finally hit that moment. Yes.
Yeah.
He has seen the light.
Yeah. Now, we need to see still how he handles that. Right?
We do.
Is he going to be a better father now? Is he going to go tell Midge, by the way, your strength, I'm really proud of you. Yeah. I've not given you the credit you deserve. Is he going to have that honest conversation? I really hope that. I hope that happens. I hope we see it.
If we don't see it, all right, at least we had that moment. But at the same time, I feel like they're going to. Something's going to give.
Yeah, at least he's had his epiphany. At least he knows. Yeah. All right, we'll catch you on the last one, guys.
Yeah.